how's it going, everybody? It's Dan here from Mandorine and YTX News, and today I want to do a little bit different video. I know I don't really have a consistent theme on my channel, but today I just wanted to talk about when I met Mac Demarco. Now, it was October of 2015, and it was just a rainy night in Tucson, Arizona. And Tucson's usually a pretty hot place, so getting rain there is very unusual. It's in the middle of the desert. So it kind of set the scene for a unique night right off the bat. So I had my tickets I'd purchased nights before, if not weeks before, and got into the show, and it was just an amazing performance. I mean, Mac's voice sounded even crisper and more alive when he was playing with the band. And everything just was perfect. The lighting, there was a disco ball and the lights were going off. Everybody in the crowd was super friendly. People were crowd surfing, and I was up in the second floor balcony sitting there, and the people next to me and me were like singing along to the music. And it's kind of weird, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess the cool thing about the moment is that I was able to let go of my inhibitions without any drugs or alcohol. I was able to let go of my inhibitions and just get lost in the music to the point where I didn't care if anybody thought I was stupid for singing. And it was just cool that all the fans were really laid back, as you'd probably expect. But the performance was great. It was kind of funny hearing Pierce rant between songs, and John Lent was sitting back there vaping on the keyboard and passing it around. And it just seemed very natural, and Mac just put on like this Mickey Mouse performance, you know, he brings this energy that is just worth seeing on its own. I mean, I've watched so many countless live videos of Mac online. I've heard all the albums. I've even put some compilations and a documentary together on this channel about him. But seeing him live was a completely different experience. It was 100% worth it. Just because you've heard the album doesn't mean you've had the live experience. It was a real party, and I'll probably remember that night for a very long time. In fact, I also have videos of that, the live performance, some of the songs, not the whole thing, but the links to all that stuff will be in the description. But anyways, after the show, I was hanging around outside the venue downtown Tucson, and kind of asking people, like, do you think Mac's going to be outside to sign autographs? Do you think he's going to show up and do a meet and greet? Nobody really knew. So I kind of walked around the venue for a little bit and talked to some of the people that were working there, and nobody really knew. I went up and met Joe and Pierce by their merch table and talked to them for a while. I talked to Pierce about like the Joe Rogan Experience and some other random podcasts, kind of half-jokingly, and I bought his album, and he signed it. And I also talked to Joe, and it was just like, I was just even nervous to meet them. I was like, this is so weird. I've seen you guys on the internet so much, but meeting you in person, like, I'm prone to anxiety to begin with, which is why I like relaxing music. But they were super cool and asked my name, and like Pierce probably doesn't remember me now, but by the end he was, you know, we were talking and he remembered my name, so that was kind of cool. And they were really nice, down to earth people. And so I left the venue. I had no sign of Mac. Pierce and Joe didn't know if he was going to be doing anything, so I left, and I kind of wandered around the back of the venue, and I asked one of the security guards, and they're like, hey, I think Mac might be over behind that alley down the way, meeting people. So I just bolted down there to see if I could meet him, if he was going to be there. I was winded when I got there. There was a long line of people, and at the end of the line, Mac was like in this gray hoodie, and he was just sitting there, you know, letting people take pictures, take selfies, or having other people hold the camera. And then he was talking to people too, and like, this is a long line of people after a pretty high energy show of him like jumping around and crowd surfing. So I was surprised, and I was like at the end of the line hoping that he would wait long enough for me to get to the front. And so I met some of the people in line, and they were super cool. And when I got to the front of the line, I had one of them take the pictures for me, and I was just so nervous. Like, I had been listening to a podcast a couple days before the concert where Mac was talking about how people all just want pictures for their social media. Everybody wants a selfie.
I mean, I don't know. We meet a lot of people, but most that's also skewed because you only meet kids that are like, yeah, man, what's up? Like, I'm wearing clothes to like dress like you, man. So it's like, yeah, maybe not so genuine, but it is great. No complaints.
Did they wear Viceroy hats and stuff?
Somebody gave me this one. I've never seen another one like this, but
definitely people get it all though.
Yeah, they get it. A kid gave me these overalls too.
Someone called you a fashion genius last night, right?
Kids gave me 2 Viceroy pins last night.
Oh my God.
No, one kid called me a style icon last night. Another kid called me a hillbilly. And they kind of laughed. He was like, "Oh, you look like a fucking hillbilly."
Are you trying to be stylish, or are you just trying to be like whatever?
I'm just trying to be comfortable, I guess.
Right. But I mean, you look like a very comfortable style.
We were going to pick up Mac for this thing, and I was like rolling up. We didn't know where he was, and I was like, "Is that him?" I was like, "No, that's a homeless dude for sure." And I called him, and then I saw him take his phone out of his pocket. I was like, "Oh, that's Mac."
Yeah, it's strange though. That what was I saying about the hillbilly kid? He's like, yeah, man. Like the first thing that I've interacted with this young man, like human. Hey, you look like a fucking hillbilly. I was like, huh, like still trying to process it. And then before I could, it's already like selfie, and he's out. It's like, okay, like see you later, man. Like,
okay,
the selfie fucking.
The selfie generation.
It really bugs me that they don't say
me.
like some people come out to you and be like selfies, and they won't say hello or they won't tell you their name.
Right.
And I always stop them like, "My name's Pierce. What's your name?"
Wow.
And they're like, "I'm sorry." Like,
it's cute though. It's just the new gen, next gen. Next gen of kids like that.
It's me. Can I have a selfie now, please?
Hey.
This one's for my social media.
It's cute.
Yeah.
He was kind of mocking these people that want to get selfies by saying like, "This one's for my social media," and like taking pictures, and they were just kind of goofing around about it. But he was also saying like, that's kind of the way people connect now is through social media. But it's kind of stupid, but that's what people do. But also in the podcast, they asked him about the weirdest fan experiences, and they were saying someone came up to him, and gave him like a pig fetus or something that was like in a jar with this formaldehyde or something. But someone else came up to him and was like, "You look like a fucking hillbilly." And like they took a picture or something. They said, "You look like a fucking hillbilly," because, I mean, some people think he dresses like a scumbag or whatever. But he thought it was kind of funny when he was talking about it on the podcast. So I thought I would kind of break the ice when I met him and say, the same thing, like thinking he'd be like, "Oh, it's a joke." So I was like, "You look like a fucking hillbilly." And he was just like taken aback. He's just like, "What?" He just looked at me like it just went right over his head. He didn't make the connection. He must have been really tired, and it was a very awkward situation, pretty much. So I was already nervous, and that made me more nervous. But I was just like, "Hey, man, I love your music so much." And I had this amethyst necklace I had picked up that I was going to give him. It was like a little silver chain with an amethyst spire on the end of it, like a little stone. And I gave it to him. I'm like, "This is supposed to give you like good vibes," or something stupid, really stupid. And he's like, "Thanks, man." He put it right on over his hoodie. And then we took some pictures. And I took a couple pictures. And then eventually these like random girls that were just lurking around like hopped into the pictures, and I guess they spoke some other language, and they were just like laughing, and it was just a bunch of confusion. But Mac's like, "No, man, this is his picture. Let him get his picture." And I was like, "Oh, it's okay. But Mac was like, "No, man, let's get the picture that you want to get." So it was cool that he even cared to like take the time to just allow me to get a picture with just him. So we took some pictures, and I shook his hand or hugged him. I think I hugged him. And then that was it. And I drove home, and the whole night I was just... I stayed up late that night just thinking about the concert, and it was just such a positive memory for me. So if you ever get the chance to see Mac Demarco live, I highly recommend it. The crew with Mac put on a great show, and it was a great deal, great night, A+. So that was my story of meeting Mac Demarco. Hopefully I'll get to meet him again eventually, but Let me know what you thought down below in the comments. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll talk to you later. Peace.